is A.J. Macdonald with Macdonald Financial Services. I have Devin Jones here today, and we're going to talk about the 5 things we look at during a market pullback. Does the market ever go down?
Well, during the euphoria, no. You know, everybody thinks it's going to go on and go up forever.
What are you talking? The roaring 90s, things were fantastic.
Absolutely. Yeah, those were great times. Great times. You owned a Janus fund, you were doing fantastic. Just ask people that own Janus funds.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
You digress.
I will. Something like that. Yeah.
All right, how about so the things we look at during a market pullback would be the original assumptions of a financial plan.
Yeah.
What did we assume? Most of the plans are going to have different allocations, but also different assumptions on rates of return, historically. And all right, where does it look like? And over the course of time, when we have a market pullback, how much does that change your original assumptions?
Yeah, and that's one thing when we're building those plans together, having an agreement on what that, some people say, well, hey, historically the market, is much worse. The numbers are much worse than what we've been doing over the last 2 or 3 years. So why don't we have the last 2 or 3 years as an average? Well, that can really skew those things, those numbers. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Also want to take a look at your time horizon. So that would be the next one. Heck, if we've got a child going off to college, and if they started saving when they were born, and you got a lot longer ways to go. We got 18 years, but let's say that child's now in high school, or maybe he's a junior in high school, and we only got a couple years to go before they're going to start using those funds. We don't want to have a big pullback there.
Yeah, the plan might look a little bit different at that juncture of things.
So. And same thing with maybe buying a house or retirement.
Retirement, a big one.
Yeah. Do people ever retire? You're never going to retire.
No. I'm here as long as we're making videos. I'm here.
Perfect. Well, number 3 would be liquidity. Do we have cash available? People need cash, especially if they're retired, especially if they're going off to college. And so you want to make sure that we've got that built into a plan that says, heck, if we do have a pull down, that we've got cash available to whether it be pay the mortgage or pay whatever it happens to be. So
I'll tell you what, I really do enjoy talking with folks that kind of somewhat understand this concept of when you have a big market run up, maybe that's the point where you do a little pullback and kind of store some cash instead of letting those horses just continue to run because the market always goes up. Having a little bit of cash on the sidelines for our retirees, of course, or folks that are needing money in the next 12 months, maybe having a little bit of money set on the sidelines, for those days when the market isn't going so well. And we're in one of those periods right now.
A perfect segue for the next one, which is rebalancing opportunities. So exactly what Devin had said is, well, in the good times, if you pull off a little bit of the gravy or profit, then you can rebalance that down when we have when the market comes down. Yeah,
kind of rebalance, repositioning the portfolio, keeping that asset allocation pure, if you will, and trying to backfill some of the funds that didn't do so well. So, because again, not everything kind of repeats, right? Typically, we don't have winners year over year over year that are the exact same. So, this year is a pretty good example of that. So.
Yeah. Well, we've got a graph. If you come into the office, we can show you the graph. It's color coordinated. Very pretty graph. Shows top performer every single year. It goes back 20 years. And there's a couple that repeat.
There's a couple.
On the top and the bottom. But not very many.
Not very often.
So, lastly, would be tax consequences. So we have a market pullback. One of the things you take a look at is maybe some tax loss harvesting, especially closer to the end of the year. That's when you generally do it. And you take that with some rebalancing opportunities.
Right. Right. Yeah. Trying to find those opportunities that maybe we need a little bit of cash and want to try to pull back on some things that, oh, look at that. We'll hit two birds with one stone. We'll get some losses moving forward, and we'll also get some cash that we need. So it's not always a bad thing to consider.
Yeah. So those are the 5 things that we look at during a market pullback. If you have any questions about any of those, please give us a call. And thanks for watching.